How does it feel, mighty Megatron?
Hello there, gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. You know what this is? It's good news. We've got a whole lot to talk about, so let's talk about it.
Pathetic fools! There's no escape!
Now, that was a lot more Cobra Commander than it was Starscream. Why was I doing Starscream? I'm not going to edit that. Starscream. That could totally be a new Transformer. Regardless! 3-0. Jeez, this episode's off the rails in record time. 3-0. MDLX. Starscream figure. I don't need to say anything else about it. You can look at the pictures. Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Action figures like this, based on properties from my youth that I love, with characters who are awesome. Oh my goodness. Just the MDLX 3-0 Transformers, they call to me, man. I don't own a single one, but I was in a shop in Nipponbashi the other day and they had the Megatron and Soundwave. And Soundwave in particular, oh gosh, he looks amazing. But this Starscream, just so beautiful. Oh my giddy lord. Only $119. That's not crazy. I mean, he's not like a massive 1/6 scale. He's smaller, but that's a lot of action figure that you are getting for that price. Just look at these images. Oh, I could weep. They just look amazing. This is the perfect combination of animated style with real world movie kind of look as well. Not the garbage Michael Bay trash. Don't think about that. Think about like a nice real world version of a Transformer. That's what this should look like. It's funny, I'm looking at the website and it says to be released around about the fourth quarter of this year, worldwide, brackets, not Japan. I swear, someone out there is just trolling me. But if you want to get this figure, or someone out there is trying to help me save money, which is not a bad thing either. But guys, if you have the fold-in cash to spend on this guy, just go fill your boots, because this Starscream, he looks so beautiful.
Who interrupts my coronation?
Coronation Starscream. This is poor comedy.
Megatron? Is that you?
Here's a hint!
I fucking love that movie. Speaking of beautiful high-end action figures that make me want to weep tears of action figure themes joy, let me just read this off. Heat Boys HB0014, not that really matters, I don't think. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michaelangelo Mecha. Oh, God, what are you doing to me, action figures? Although luckily, kind of like the MDLX Transformers, I haven't got into the initial releases, so maybe I won't have that completionist compulsion making me want to buy this. It's everything else that makes me want to buy this. Mainly how freaking incredible he looks. So Leonardo is out there, and I didn't buy Leonardo, so that means that I'm not compelled to buy Michelangelo. But oh goodness, that's why I didn't buy one, because I knew that if I did buy one, I would have to buy the rest of them, because I'm not insane, and you can't just have one Ninja Turtle. That would be offensive. It's got to be 4 Ninja Turtles and probably 1 Foot Soldier, and you can just have them mug the poor guy. That's how all my childhood action figures looked. It was always 4 Ninja Turtles and 1 villain, because, you know, you're not army building at 8 years old, or at least, I mean, I wish I could do, but we didn't have that kind of money. So this it looks incredible. The Leonardo looked beautiful as well. This is some die-cast metal parts with all the articulation and the details. That's the key word there. It's the details. There's so much going on under the hood. You look at all the... What I love in particular is the stamped on kind of writing, like, because it looks like a military vehicle. Like this is a mech that has been designed like a Gundam or something like that. And you've got like a teeny tiny little Michelangelo that can pilot it. I don't know what the lore could be behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles piloting mecha. I don't care. I just love it. So this is going to be released at some point this year. That's all it's got. It doesn't even have a full price. It says unknown on the website, but Leonardo's going for about $145. So you can look for that to be pretty much that kind of price. But come on, light up features, all the little details, the articulation. I could just gush over this thing all day. In fact, I think I will do. Don't worry, I'll edit that. But just assume that I'm just going to sit here talking for the next 24 hours about how much I love the look of this figure. Because quite frankly, I do. He's freaking gorgeous. Now let's bring it down. Bring it way down with the McFarlane Batman releases. Yep, we got 3 new Batmen, and honestly, like that wasn't me being too salty, because actually there's one that I really kind of like here, and that's the Nightfall Batman. So this is classic grey and blue Batman. This is the Batman that I love the look and appearance of, and he will go BEA beautifully with your Bane mega fig as well. You've got the Azazel. Is it Azazel? Azrael, that's the one. You've got the Azrael Batman as well, the Nightfall mecha looking Batman. McFarlane's doing a good job of hearkening to our 90s nostalgia, and I'm here for it, so more power to you. I've been a bit salty on McFarlane recently, and rightly so, I feel, in some cases. However, this is I've got to stop saying however. First of all, that's not even my catchphrase, but there's just something just like, I don't know, satisfying about saying that. Shout out to Ryan Hollinger, who makes amazing short form videos on horror movies. That's where however comes from. Regardless, yeah, the Nightfall Batman, I genuinely do like the look of him. I like what they've done with him. That's kind of cool. Then, for the Batman collector who has everything, you've got the Two-Face Batman, which someone mentioned in the comments, like, how hilarious is that Two-Face is one of the main characters that people really, really want and McFarlane haven't done yet, but the only one they've got is a Batman variant. It's like, okay, you want Two-Face? Fine, but we're making him a Batman. I guarantee, like, you're finally going to get classic comic book Wonder Woman as a Batman variant. It's going to be Batman as Wonder Woman. What the hell? Let's do it. And then finally, they've got, is it Batwing is the name of the character? Yes, Batwing. That's the one. And I'm not familiar with this guy at all. I kind of like the look of the mech suit he has going on there with the wings. That's kind of fun, kind of different. Say what you will about McFarlane figures, and Lord knows I do. But a lot of their figures do have nice, unique sculpting. And that's a big, big thing. And it's kind of like a trade-off. I think that Marvel Legends look nicer in some regards, but they can be phoned in a lot more. Marvel Legends are far more likely to just have a generic body with a new head. But sometimes that does look better. Whereas at least with McFarlane, they actually will do a lot more new, fresh, original sculpt. And for that, I give them credit. So I want to try and be even-handed there. Although also, I mean, they love their repaints. But then again, you're not obliged to buy them. Action figures. There's pros and cons in every regard, isn't there? Regardless, though, these, they're kind of fun. For me personally, Nightfall Batman, should I get him to go with my Bane? I might. And can you believe that's literally it for action figure news at the moment? I'm sure there will be plenty more coming out the second I press save on this video. Doesn't matter, we'll cover that tomorrow. In the meantime though, there's still a whole lot more news to talk about, so let's talk about it. First of all, movie and TV news. Quick little bit of movie news. Seth Rollins, WWE superstar, is going to be appearing in Captain America and the New World Order. There you go. I was trying to say, first of all, I was trying to say Winter Soldier, then I was trying to say and the Serpent Society. No. Captain America, New World Order. So this is the Sam Wilson Captain America taking on what looks to be the Serpent Society, one of whom I think is going to be Seth Rollins. So that's kind of fun. I'm not a big Seth Rollins fan. Just there's something about his character that he projects on WWE TV. I'm like, I can't get into you. Fantastic wrestler, though. I'll never take that away from him in the slightest. And if he's playing a Serpent Society villain, that could work. That could work. So yeah, it's just a little behind-the-scenes picture that's available on Twitter at the moment, but fun to get some insights into what we can look forward to in New World Order. New World Order. For life. Except AJ Styles. And sticking with Marvel movies, Deadpool 3 is bringing back two mutants that we have grown quite accustomed to in the Deadpool franchise. We are getting the return of Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. The two actresses have been confirmed. What are their names? Actress Brianna Hildebrand and Shioli Kutsuna. I wanted to make sure I got those right there. So yes, they're coming back, and I'm happy to see that. I really enjoy those two characters. I think they're super cute, very sort of, kind of charismatic on screen. This is Dave trying to say, I think they look pretty, and I like watching them on film, without saying, I think they're pretty, and I like watching them on film. That's what I just said. It's even more transparent than my cosplay segments, which ironically include people wearing stuff that is pretty transparent. Over on the small screen, and Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai, the animated Gremlins TV show, has been getting its new reviews coming in for it, and I'm very happy to say that they all sound really positive, and that's great news to me because I've been looking forward to this. So one in particular I'm going to quote from Bloody Disgusting. That's one of my favourite horror movie themed websites. So this is a review by Megan Navarro, and she says, Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai is an enchanting, delightfully surprising continuation of Gizmo's world. The animation is stunning, and its narrative, world building, and characters are just as rich. It makes for a rewarding, breezy inaugural season that'll capture the imaginations of a younger generation while appeasing original fans. The series may take place in the 1920s, but the Amblin spirit is alive and well in the present. Boom! That makes me real happy to hear. And also, I was wondering, how are you going to do an entire series on Gremlins? And apparently it's bringing in all different types of Chinese folklore and mythology. That is mashing my potatoes right there. So apparently the first two episodes of Secrets of the Mogwai premiere on Thursday, May 23rd. So tomorrow, look out for that, on Max, formerly HBO Max. Following the premiere week, 2 new episodes will release every Thursday. Boom! I'm on board. An interesting little Marvel tidbit is that they have just released a new trailer for Loki Season 2, and it does not feature Jonathan Majors at all. So that's interesting as a little aside as to what their mindset seems to be. Things are not looking good for Jonathan Majors in a long-term career type situation because he has so much controversy surrounding him at the moment. And hey, I'm a big proponent of innocent until proven guilty. Don't like trial by the media. That's all a bit grubby, but it's just like the optics are not great. And it seems like Disney are already going, okay, let's just distance ourselves from this and get a little bit of space. You know, Loki Season 2 is in the bag. It's done. It's good to go. It's going to be coming out relatively soon. But it seems like as far as promotion is concerned, they are steering well clear of Jonathan Majors until they know exactly what's going on in that regard. And for upcoming badass movies that I want to talk about, Creator. This is coming out September 29th, so we have a little bit of a wait for it. 2 days after my birthday, in fact. So this is an AI-themed, post-apocalyptic, humans versus robots, sci-fi extravaganza. And it looks like so much fun, and the special effects look beautiful. It stars Ken Watanabe. He's one of the main people. He's not the primary star, I don't think, but he was the only person I instantly recognized. And Ken Watanabe, man, that dude's a boss. Like, anytime that guy's on screen for anything, you're like, yes, this is a good film. And yeah, it looks like AI creatures, robot. I wanted to say cyborg because they look like humans, but I don't think there's any cyborg going on there. It's just robots. Regardless, I think it's like one guy is trying to save a robot child who's up for extermination because robots are bad, and it just looks wicked. Why am I telling you about it? Go and watch the trailer yourself, and then go get a ticket for September 29th, because I got a sneaky feeling this might be a little sci-fi gem coming out this year. Over in comic book news now, hoo-ha! Marvel is really setting the cat amongst the pigeons with Spider-Man, and a death in Spider-Man. So if you do not want to know about an upcoming death in Spider-Man, although Lord knows, if you're on the internet right now watching this, I don't know how you could be watching this any other way unless you're just taking this information directly from my brain, in which case, get out of my head! And those thoughts were in there when I got here, so don't blame me for them. Okay, so you can skip, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm going to put the little chapter here, so feel free to skip on if you don't want to find out that Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is getting killed off in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man 26. And that's it. And this isn't even a leak. Marvel have actually put this out there to the world to garner up some publicity. So first things first, this is a death in the Marvel Comics universe. Therefore, it ain't gonna last more than 5 minutes, but it is gonna last long enough for people to get all up in arms about it, because people love getting upset about silly things. So as soon as this was announced, people were like, oh, just look at it, a character who's finally providing representation is being killed off in a white man's comic to, up the... You're not really upset about anything. You just want people to hear you say things because you like the sound of your own voice. Shh. I know how the internet works. I have a YouTube channel. That's why I do it. But no, people are getting all up in arms because it's Kamala Khan is a character who is really beloved by so many people for being a great representation. But the thing is, this death isn't going to last 5 minutes. The whole reason, this is like little Dave's conspiracy corner here, because it's not a conspiracy, it's pretty freaking obvious. The whole reason I think that they're killing her off is just so that she can be resurrected as a mutant by all the X-Men in Krakoa. That's the whole ongoing thing with the X-Men right now, is that death doesn't exist. As soon as someone dies, they can just be cloned and psychically imprinted, and boom, they're back. Ever since the House of X story started, I think literally every X-Man has been killed at some point. And somehow Wolverine is resurrected with his adamantium. Did they ever explain how that works? Or was it just one of those, nah, it'll be fine? So I think the idea is that the X-Men are going to resurrect Miss Marvel, and in doing so, they will either make her a mutant, because she's an Inhuman at the moment, or they'll go, oh hey, turns out you were a mutant all along. That way she will be a mutant like in the MCU. And maybe that'll change her powers as well, so everything will match up and have some synergy. So I think it's stupid killing her off in Amazing Spider-Man, because she has nothing to do with Spider-Man. She's popped up like once or twice in the current run, but that's it. So really, it's just Marvel going for shock value like they have been doing recently. The modern Spider-Man comics are not good, and hey look, at least they didn't kill off Mary Jane just for the sake of killing her off, but still, that character's got her own problems. But yeah, I'm actually quite a fan of Miss Marvel, and I wasn't like, oh my god, they've killed off Miss Marvel. It was just like, oh, well, that character's taken a break for a little bit, and she'll be back with a huge push, and probably a #1 issue very, very soon. But anyone who's getting on their soapbox about, oh, Marvel killing off this character for a white man's comic, it's like, no, there are way bigger injustices in the world that you could put your energy towards solving. But you don't want to, do you? Yeah, I didn't think so. Over in something much more fun, DC are finally doing swimsuit issues, where Marvel was too cowardly to pick up the wonderful ball that the 1990s dropped. DC are like, no, you know what? We're going to throw together a swimsuit issue. So apparently this is made up of previous swimsuit cover variants, and they're just putting them together. They're chucking in a couple of pages of an original story, and it's being hosted by Gnaut. Is it? Is that how you pronounce their name? I don't know. Regardless, it's harkening back to the fun, ridiculous silliness of the 90s, and I'm here for it. So DC, kudos for actually just having some fun. Comics don't have to be so serious all the time, and they don't have to make people look sort of modern and practical and how does that make sense in the real world? No normal person looks like that. Of course they don't. It's comic books. So let's have some fun with them. Let's go to the beach. Beach, let's go to the beach. That's a song, isn't it? Can't think what it is, though. Help me out in the comments. Regardless, if you want to see Batman and Catwoman frolicking on the beach and a bunch of, six-pack rippling abs to make you feel bad about yourself, then go pick up the summer special, because honestly, it looks like a whole lot of fun. Over in pro wrestling news, I have just finished watching New Japan Pro Wrestling's Resurgence pay-per-view, so if you don't want to know any of the results for that, skip on over to the next chapter. In the main event, though, it was to decide the inaugural New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship, and it involved my two favorite female wrestlers. First of all, there is Mercedes Moné. Wow, your favorite wrestler, Dave, and you can't even think what her name is. Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale. I love these two ladies, and it was a tournament, so I was like, they're not going to put them in the main event together. No, they did. Fantastic. Unfortunately, Mercedes Moné broke her ankle in the match, in the middle of the match. She fell, and this is also not her fault. I guarantee you there are going to be people on the internet going, oh, Mercedes Moné, oh no, injury prone, blah, blah, blah. It slipped off the top rope. It was something that could have happened to anyone, and yeah, broke her ankle when she hit the floor. And there was a real awkward moment where clearly she went back into the ring and let Willow know that it was time to end the match, so Willow hits her with a power bomb, but they couldn't communicate that to the Japanese referee because I guess, they weren't, that familiar with communicating, with someone who doesn't speak the same language in a foreign kind of setting. So basically, Sasha-Banks, I still call her Sasha-Banks, her shoulders were down for the count of 3, but the referee did the old stop at 2 because he was like, this isn't the finish that it's supposed to be. So the crowd booed that, and I'm like, come on, like, they're doing their best here. And then Willow picked her up again and powerbombed her, and this time the referee was like, okay, no, clearly this is the finish we're doing. And so that really sucked, because first of all, I mean, you never want to see anyone get injured, so wishing Mercedes Moné a speedy recovery. And also for Willow, for her big moment, it should have been, a big moment that wasn't tinged like that, but no one's fault. That's why I don't wrestle anymore, because any second of any match, you are only a moment away from disaster. So falling from the top rope like that, it could have been worse. Broken ankle, that sucks, but she's going to heal up, she's going to be fine. So, kudos and double thumbs up to both women for just powering through and, concluding the match. Real shame it ended the way it did, but I'm sure that there are bright, better things for both competitors. Wow, I spoke about wrestling without mentioning CM Punk once. That was refreshing. Over in video game news, a couple of trailers that I like the look of. Bleak Sword. Both of these trailers were for very similar genre, not genre, but similar kind of aesthetic type games, but also they couldn't be more different either. So Bleak Sword, yes, it's sword and sorcery, Dark Souls, Lord of the Rings type, setting, but completely unique, very basic graphics where it's like a 2D stick kind of character in a 3-dimensional diorama sort of look, like a real simplistic but fun kind of art style and what looks like very addictive game mechanics. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, coming out for PC and Switch. So honestly, I don't think my Switch is going to be running anything besides Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for the foreseeable future, but one day I might look into getting this. And then over on the more advanced side of things, we're sticking with the sword and sorcery kind of aesthetic, but now we're going super high end. There's a Dark Souls style game called Lords of the Fallen, had to double check that. And there's just a new trailer that's been revealed, an IGN exclusive, some gameplay footage, and yeah, if you're a Dark Souls type person, oof, little Bloodborne kind of action, some Elden Ring in there. Yeah, this looks like your jam, and this is kind of my jam as well. So again, once Zelda has finished dominating my life, I've got two very, very similar and also completely different sword and sorcery games to dive into. And yeah, unfortunately, it's like there's so many good games out there that I don't know if I'll ever get around to them. But if I do, it would probably be a fun time. And now time for merchandising, where the real money from movies is made. First of all, Lego Star Wars mech characters. These just look kind of fun. You've got a Darth Vader, a Boba Fett. I just like saying Boba Fett. A Boba Fett, that's a third one. Let's make it 4. A Boba Fett and a Stormtrooper. And these are just kind of cute. And what kind of won me over to them a bit more was that they weren't just designed to be these characters but as mechs, but they're mechs of themselves that these characters, the little minifigs, are driving. And I'm like, that's kind of silly and cute, and I kind of dig it. So if you're a Star Wars person and you kind of like the more kitsch, fun, kid kind of side of things, as opposed to the, mega $500 super duper sets, you want something a little more fun that you can put together with someone, then yeah, these look kind of fun. And for you old school Jurassic Park fans, I really hate to break this to you, because I'm breaking it to myself as well. The first Jurassic Park is celebrating its 30 year anniversary. Ow. Ouch, that hurts. Probably because I've got heartburn because I'm so old. But yes, 30 years of Jurassic Park, and they're releasing a brand new 4K bells and whistles digital DVD set. And it's got, you know, your usual things that you would expect. An art book, cards, postcards, all that kind of thing. It just looks super pretty. So if you want to have a brand new Jurassic Park set, apparently Jurassic Park is one of the most sort of re-bought DVDs in the world, like the most different versions and collector's box sets and whatnot. Jurassic Park has one of the biggest numbers of those, and who can blame people? It's a banger of a movie. Over in Cosplay Corner, a big shout out to Anne Callaghan, that's the one. Anne Callaghan Cosplay, because one thing in particular that really caught my eye: gender swapped Kurgan from Highlander. Holy moly, yes to this. She's got a whole bunch of other crazy awesome stuff as well, but seeing the awesome Kurgan mask, that just looks so wicked. I can just hear her like, there can be only one. Like, that was more of a Mario Van Peebles from Highlander 3 voice. Regardless, happy Halloween, ladies! That wasn't me being gross. That's the Kurgan, the Highlander. Why am I telling you this? Of course you've seen Highlander. If you haven't, literally stop watching this video and go watch Highlander. It's one of the greatest fantasy movies ever made. And I'll stand by that. That's not hyperbole. Regardless, once you've finished watching Highlander, go and give this lady a like and a follow, because she's doing awesome stuff. And finally, I don't have an "and finally" story. So folks, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And actually, while I do have this little bit of extra time to myself, then why not go over to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour. Toss a couple of bucks my way, that helps keep the lights on, but I wouldn't ask you to do that for nothing, because you don't get something for nothing in this world, ladies and gentlemen. So, in return for doing so, you can watch all the exclusive videos on there, including my deep dive into X-Men the Animated Series, where I do a commentary track for each and every episode, and I talk about not only the story, but all the action figures that are made with regards to the characters in the episode. That's the most roundabout way of trying to describe what I'm doing, but it's as told by toys, but with the X-Men Animated Series. That's the better way of saying it. And so far, we're 3 episodes in, and I am freaking loving the process. The last one was a big deep dive into Magneto and all the Magneto action figures. You know what? If I wasn't me, I would subscribe to my Patreon. That's the biggest seal of approval I can give it. So go check that out, and go join the Facebook group, because that's a good time, and follow me on Instagram and all that good stuff. I always appreciate the support in all of its forms. If you don't want to do any of that, but that's okay. But go show some love somewhere else in the world, because you know what? We could all benefit from some of that. That's a nice little good vibe to end things on. So gang, until next time, first of all, I just poked myself in the eye, and then I tried to do the finger point and the hand slap click at the same time, and that's what happened. I'm not editing that. Let's try that again. So until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Damn it!